Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of City Skylines. We are here in Bytown in our most favorite of areas, the black market. Now, it might be hard to tell, but the buildings here, the little market stalls at the back, right along the tram line, are all abandoned, as is this building here. And I have been stumped on this one, but I think we've solved it. Now, I did say that last episode. Now, I had play tested before, and I tried a couple things, and I removed one of them, and things were fine. So I just went with the police station that you saw that I've put in, but that has not solved the problem. This is even clearer here. You can see abandoned building, abandoned building. This one apparently still has crime going on it. So it's not good at all. So our solution to this is, let's take a step back. Although these are accessible to the pedestrians walking through here, they were actually not accessible to the police forces to actually, prevent the criminals. So we're gonna do a few things here. We're gonna come in. We're going to delete those paths there. We're going to come into our pedestrian path, and we'll use our two-way campus connected paths. So these, I should say roads, pedestrian park roads. So these do need to connect directly to the road. And we will need to be careful here. Let's turn off collision. And we'll come along here as well. Make sure that's forced to the ground. So that part is solved there. Now, for aesthetic purposes, we'll see whether this will solve itself. So we will put the normal park path there, and we will come in as day breaks here. Oh, actually, that shouldn't be daybreak. It's just that's where the beautiful sunset we can see hitting the buildings from this angle here. Now, that doesn't solve this. Now, I have gone in and I just downloaded some new gravel paths and roads. So we're gonna try it. We're gonna try both here. We're gonna get rid of this. And we are going to run right along here as well. Okay, so that one doesn't work. As you can see, it's not a very good look. So that didn't work. What about this guy? Okay, that's not too bad. It's better than the other ones for sure. So we'll run this one here for now, and we will see if we can also find a better one. Now we are gonna do, this is a little trick I've learned from Overcharged Egg. Now this will only work. It's not too bad the way it is right now. But we're going to see if we can kind of improve that with the purple here. No, okay. I was hoping we could somehow solve, as you can see that little triangle there. That is not working. We'll leave it like this. Now, to get things fully working, we are going to come in and we will reset using move it. There we go. Now the other thing we're going to come and use move it for. Make sure that's the right height. There we go. That is now conforming to the height here. And I notice we do have a little bit of gravel coming onto the tracks. Maybe there's a police chase to the like. Let's see if we can just clean that up just a tad. Now this should solve the problem of our continuous black market. And let's hope this works. Like I say, I will see if I can find another asset that kind of will help blend in the gravel. But it does need road connection. Actually, and before we leave this area and get on to today's build, we will come into our traffic manager as the game takes a bit of a pause. Oh, look at all this. I guess it's been a long time since I've opened up traffic manager. Okay, so let's close this up. And what we're going to do is going to click on this road. There we go. Click on, make sure I remember to click up here. So we are going to come in and we are going to put on some vehicle restrictions. Oh, this has definitely been updated. Okay. So we will allow everything but vehicles, buses, and taxis. We will allow the city services all to get up there. Same thing here. We'll make sure, although I don't think this one's 100% necessary, but since we have everything open, that will prevent, like I say, just some cars coming up here to park or drive on it. It's definitely not something we want. And yeah, let's get on with today's build. As you would have noted by the thumbnail along with the title of this video, we are going to focus on DEATHCARE. And this is where we're going to start building our very first area within this, well, not within the city, we have a few, but as part of this episode. And the reason why we're going to focus on this is if you look at our DEATHCARE here, is our cemeteries are near full capacity. Actually, I didn't think I had any crematoriums, but apparently we do somewhere, maybe. So this, before we get into a serious problem, we're going to start to deal with it in today's episode. And so we're going to come over to this corner of the world, or the map, I should say, or within our city. We're going to remove those commercial buildings. Oh, and somebody really wants to come back, but the answer to that is no. There we go. They're gone. So we have that in there. We're going to use move it to take our fire station. We'll leave it facing this way. I think that works. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to come in to our healthcare, and we're going to place our very first building here. And that's an asset I downloaded from the workshop. It is a funeral home. And we'll place it right there on the corner. So I think it's a great spot. Now, normally I would come in and look to move. Let's get that to the same height. Look to move, or remove, I should say, these parking spots. But I think we'll leave them there as handicap parking primarily, but we will add our own parking in. And for that, we're going to come into our roads. We're going to get our service lot road. We will run that all the way along the side here. In fact, let's come a little further, because these rows of trees right here actually are part of the asset, and I want to leave them. We'll come in and behind that spot, we will come in and, oh, as you can see, I got too close. When I ran that parking, we will just pull that back, and we will make sure that goes as far as we can. And we'll have that conform down. And it looks like we have tree anarchy on, so we'll take that off. And let's remove, actually we're gonna come in and we're gonna remove all these trees here. Just remove all of them. There we go. Don't worry, we're gonna come back in and add a bunch. Now the next thing we're gonna come in and do, although this funeral home will process and take care of some of our dead citizens, we do need to add some crematoriums, which, like I say, I don't think we have any. Now, I did download this better crematorium from the workshop, which, is a little bigger than the smaller one. Okay. Well, I think we're going to have to... Let's see. You know what? That is just enough. But let's have a look. Let's look at the other one as well. Oh, sorry. That is the better crematorium versus the one from the base game. So we'll put the one from the base game in. We will take the opportunity here to once again, I guess not once again, but we want to make sure that there is access to that parking right there. So we will run right next to the crematorium. But actually we did download one other new asset. Is this pavement road. Let's see how this looks. I've seen this used by other content creators. Yeah, I like this a little better because it is, as you can see, it's not as thick as a road. We will pull this here. Now, the next thing we're going to do before we get into doing a little detailing in this area, I have downloaded before some assets called the Vanilla Park Kit, I believe it is, so VPK. And I am looking for one very specific because we've got this space here. Now, I could put a little park or I could just put some trees, but we do need to play City Skylines just a tad. We do need to play City Skylines just a tad, and we're going to grab this 8x12 park. And as you can see, it connects in relatively beautifully here. And I think we'll do a great job providing a lot of amenities to the area here. And I think as well, and part of the reason for this is, if I've come here for a funeral or whatnot, a somewhat quiet area for, to take some private moments and just reflect of the life that has just passed. And so I think this works out really nice. So before we do move on, we are going to do a bit of detailing. Now, the other thing as I'm thinking about the detailing along this area is this is a high traffic area. And we do have a privacy fence that I think would provide, a little bit of a sound barrier. So definitely not the airport fence. And as much as I would love to use my regular fence, so I think this one will work. We'll come in. I'm going to turn all this off so we can get as close as we can. Oh, that was not the privacy fence. There we go. So get that as close as we can. And we will run. As you can see, this will provide a little bit of privacy, obviously. In fact, what we can do, and we'll see how the game likes that. We'll run. Ooh. That did not connect. So let's fix this up. So we can delete that. There we go. I just had put an extra fence down, I guess. Or I guess when I put this one in, it connect it to this corner here. So I think that looks good. Now the other thing, we're going to come in and we are going to come into bob, and we will bob away the vanilla bushes and trees we have here. So we will come in and put in, let's find it here. So we're going to swap out the plants. Oops. I'm going to do this, swap that out. We're going to remove this tree as well. As much as I love my live oaks, they're just a little too big and plentiful. I think we can get away with some generic pines for this one. And here, yeah, add a little color. Oh, is there? Oh, there might be some other hidden. Could there be? Or maybe there's some trees I can't remove. Yeah, there appears to be a few trees I can't get rid of. That's fine. So a few of these will stay, or, haha, it is a result of anarchy. Okay, tree anarchy was on. So perfect. That's even a lot better. Now, speaking of making things better, this park is really nice. I do love it a lot. But we're going to come into our content creator trees, and we will put a bunch of these pine trees, because they will stay like this all year round. And I do want to provide, as I said earlier, a sense of privacy. You know, this would also do a little bit of sound dampening. I think that looks pretty good. Now, we can't do a build without adding one of my favorite trees. So, oh, that's a perfect spot for an oak. And I think we could probably do one here as well. Do come in with a little bit of vegetation. Same thing over here. Put a couple rocks in. So my favorite rocks that I like to use are, and we've got a few of them, but it's this version of the mossy rocks. You can see you got some rocks of various size. But I generally like putting ones like these so you can kind of see that they're just unearthed a bit. And they're not overly large, you know. You can actually, this one would be great to kind of, or one of these. Oops, see, these just get a little too big, and I get why they're this big, so you can see them from further away. But I don't think they look too good, especially when you're trying to get to more detailed areas. So kind of just do it like this. There we go. So a lot of great walking around here. Now, the other thing we can do is come into our regular tree area, and we can add, those are a little too bright and in your face. Yeah, I think these would look nice. So we're not going to do a hard number. We definitely want a spacing. And that just worked out perfect. Same thing along here. We'll put the same. Come in and add one right there. That looks pretty good. Now we can also take the opportunity to look through the trees, but place a few along this side of the parking lot. I think that really helps decorate it. Speaking of the parking lot, let's take this moment here and add in our parking stalls. Now we will add one handicap here. We will come back and we'll look to add some decals, the ones out front. But more importantly, we can get these ones in here. And there we go. Now I think, was it in here? So we will come in and add some handicap decals, which is definitely going to be a little harder. I can't remember which one actually had it. Nice area reserved in theory for what actually is quite realistic, is as many parking spots to a funeral home would be handicap. Now actually what is, I guess a little challenging here is these are just steps coming up, but there's a door over here, which obviously or does look handicapped accessible. Now the last thing we're gonna come over here and do, we'll just pop in here and we are going to do a row of junipers, and we're gonna make this a fairly tight, in fact, we're gonna come in and we're gonna make that even tighter. So that provides a nice barrier, both a visual as well as sound barrier from the funeral home. We will come in and we will finish filling this one out. With a little bit of detailing. I think a single tree, a little bit of vegetation. And some rocks would be good. I think that looks pretty good. Now this is nice and accessible. We will come in and let's just grab our privacy fence again. Make sure everything is on. And that, I think, looks a little better there. And let's take one opportunity as well. We'll come in and we will add in some more of these along here. And there we go. This is a nice, I think, serviceable and realistic looking area for our funeral home as well as crematorium. And we have a nice little park area for reflection and walking. And it also provides the opportunity for the game to have a little stall here. For the condos in the back corner here, some more park areas, which provides happiness, which is pretty good. We do have a few more, so let's hop over while the game decides what it wants to do. And we will continue in another area of the city. This is the next area of the city that we will add in some more death care. Now this is going to be a lot simpler than the area we just did, but we will look to use basically the same assets, more or less. So we come into our healthcare, and once again, we are going to take the opportunity to put a funeral home here. I think this makes a lot of sense. It's an empty spot. It fits perfectly. We have some areas here that we can continue to do some detailing, which I've left untouched. Now, the next thing we do need to come in and do is add in a parking lot. So we will come in, grab our parking lot road, and we will add one in right there. And the next thing we need to do is come into our healthcare, and we will look to place the better crematorium here. And let's come in and add in a concrete stamp. I think that makes a lot more sense. In fact, we'll pull that forward just a bit. We will use Bob to come in, and we're going to take that alder. And I think what we'll do is get something besides a tree. That would be interesting. So we're going to look to add in some of these Apollo talls. They're a little hard to find because they are named with some text, but you have to go in and actually look to see that which is not an Apollo tall, but this is what I want it. We will add in a couple of these. Guess I grabbed the ash. So we're going to add in some Apollos. We can add in some ash trees as well, because the game was really hinting at it. So we can do that. We'll make sure that that remains visible there. But you will notice the fact that this is going to be relatively simple here. We will add in a little vegetation to spice it up a bit. And because we know, well, this is what I would do. I'd probably cut right across. We're going to come in and we are going to put in some simple fencing. Now, people can easily hop over this, but it adds some nice detailing along here. And we'll add some more here. We will need to come in and we're just going to hide this little deformity. We could try to spend some time fixing it. But there is no back door to this area. So I don't mind doing what we're doing at this point. That's turning out pretty good. Now we'll come in and we'll once again add some of our rocks in, and that will give us a little bit of a little more detailing. Come in and let's add a little more of our undergrowth. The last thing we need to do in this area, and you can see how quick and easy this one was. Well, maybe we'll add a little bit more. There we go. Is we do need to add our parking stalls. Now this is for both, obviously, the crematorium and as well as the funeral home. So we will add in handicap parking on both sides, and then we'll fill the rest in, and that worked out perfect. So now we've got a nice little detailed funeral home and crematorium that will really help with the death care in this in the city. But we're not done. We're definitely not done yet. We're going to come back over to this area here. This area has been left undeveloped for a while. I had thought about putting some other condo buildings here. Don't actually need these anymore, so we're going to remove at least up to here. We'll come in and remove the trees in this area. Now we'll come up over here from this angle, and we'll start with parking, because at least that way we know where things are going to go. Make sure all our snap 2s are back on. Come up 3. We will then grab parking lot, bring it all the way over. This one will extend up a little. We'll adjust it as we go. But there we go. And that's because we're going to come in and we're going to grab a church. And the church that we're going to grab and place in here, as soon as we can find it, here we go, St. Mary's Church. We can place that here. And this will now, we can pull this back to about there. And we'll just move the church over to fill in that space there. Now what we are going to do is we're not just going to make and put a bunch of gravestones in to deal with it, because the church itself, if we look at it, it's just basically a tourism type thing. So it's not actually going to help with our death care, but the realistic cemetery stones that we will put in will definitely help. But I don't just want to place them. So we are going to come back to our VPK, Vanilla Park Kit, I believe. We're going to come in with our garden park, and we will place it over here with the road connected. But we will pull this out as far as we can for it to remain connected. So there should work. Now come back in our healthcare, and the realistic working cemetery is under that section. Now these don't snap, but what we're going to do is, and we're going to have to move that asset back a bit. These do need to be connected to a road. And then we will now come in and we'll pull that back a bit. There we go. We'll come back into that now that we have it moved. Is we're going to add some on this side as well. And we will come in and add a road. But as you can see, what we're trying to accomplish here. So this would be an area of reflection. Besides as well, it will provide a park asset to the area to help with happiness. And we will come in and we will, I think, just take a regular service road. We'll run it along here. We will then come in once again to our better crematorium, and we'll place this as far as we can down here. And I think we'll just move it. We'll bring it down a little further because I do want to come in and now add in some more parking. And let's move that down just a bit. We definitely don't want to connect to the main collector that's running through here. Ooh, that provided a little bit of jankiness. So let's bring that up to that level there. And you notice these actually do conform to the road, or sorry, to terrain, I should say. Let's just move these back just a bit. Now we have this space here. Now we could just detail it, but once again, I will take the opportunity to use these vanilla brick kits here. So we'll come in and add these floral parks. See why here in a second. Now we can get away with, we'll pull that over a little. Same here as well. In fact, we'll pull it down just a tad, because then this automatically connects to the parking lot. And that's looking pretty good. It provides some nice symmetry to the area, and I think that looks pretty good. Now we have a little more work to do here because we're definitely not done yet. And that includes, now some of this will come back into the detailing time lapse and take care of these parking lots. We might adjust them around just a bit. In fact, one of the things we can do is let's bring up this road here. There we go. And like I say, these will conform, and that's fine. I think that works out quite well, adds a little bit of interest to the area. So with the detailing we want to do here is we are going to come into our pass, and we will use our pavement path. And we will connect these paths up. And as you notice, that is exactly the reason why I left the space between all the cemetery here. The other one we want to run is we will run one right along the side here. In fact, we might as well look to run one right behind. I think that looks pretty good too. So in the detailing time lapse, we will come back and adjust this area here. But I think for now, you can get to kind of see, here's another way to add death care to your city. This fits in really, really nice. We'll hide some of this here in terms of the crematorium just a bit more, at least driving behind it. But adding a church to a community, even though this doesn't help with death care, ties in the cemetery stones here. And these provide, as we have a look here, 1,000 cemeteries per. So that's 6,000 that we've just added. And that's compared to this cemetery, which does offer 3,000, and which takes up, I'm gonna say, a little more space than those three. But I like the size of these. These are a great workshop asset. I really love using these. So we're not done. We're gonna add one more before we get to the detailing time lapse, and that's with into this neighborhood over here. You'll notice in this neighborhood that there is no death care specifically. Now we have this old cemetery that we built a while back. In fact, all these are now unfortunately full. In fact, you'll notice our population of the city is currently 21,600, and we have nearly 12,000 buried, which means we've gone through a significant population here in Bytown, and our cemetery usage the percentage is getting better, and it's something we're going to have to continue to work on. Oh, and we're going to work in the rain. Why not? I forgot to turn the rain off today. This is a little somber, so let's work in the rain. So we're in this corner here. Now this corner we have this off ramp. We do have a high school. We do have some other city services here, police station here, and a fire station. But I think this corner would make sense to do and add in a church. So we are going to come in, and once again, these churches don't provide any space to deal with death care. But this is an opportunity to add a little more to a community as well. So we have this Catholic church. So we're going to add that asset in here. And then what we're going to come over and do, in fact, sorry, we're going to flip that around. So let's temporarily remove it. We're going to come in with our brush. We're going to remove some of these trees here. Get rid of this. We're going to come in first, and we are going to place a whole lot of parking in here. Then we're going to come in and place the church here. Back that up. And once again, we are going to come into and add in our realistic working cemetery. So with that, now these do require road access, so I'm not 100% sure if we'll get these to work here. Pull these forward to start. In fact, I don't think we're going to get these to work. So we're going to take a step back without making this look a little ridiculous. So we will pull these back. We'll put a couple in there. Come in. Oop, we don't actually want to remove it. But we will remove those bushes there. Take the opportunity to move some trees around first. Come back into our landscaping tools. And actually, while we're at it, let's take off our weather here. Now, I would like to add in the park fence. So we'll come in, we'll remove all our snap twos. And the reason why is I think, you know, hate to say it, but just the fact that there's a high school, we will want to make sure we kind of control access into the cemetery. It also provides a nice little detailing opportunity, I think. So I think that looks pretty good. And the same thing, we're going to run a fence to separate the area here. I think that's looking pretty good. So what have we done here so far? We've added 4 distinct, unique-ish, and somewhat similar at times, death care facilities. But before we actually see what has happened here, we will take the opportunity to go into a quick detailing time lapse, and we'll be right back. Now that we have all of our detailing done, we're back to where we started with this corner lot that was fairly empty. Now, what I'd like to ask each of you to do is look at and tell me which of the 4 death care areas that we built. And right now, I'm going to put up them on the screen. Let me know whether your favorite is number 1, number 2, number 3, or number 4. Now, before we go, let's have a look-see. We can kind of come up here, we will, because I'm in control. We're going to come in and look at our death care. Now, if you recall the beginning of the episode, we were basically at 95% capacity in terms of our cemetery usage. So we've really brought that down. So we're still a little higher, much higher than I would like to be. But we do now have our crematoriums in full swing. A lot of capacity to handle things here. So hopefully this will solve our death care. Now, as we continue to expand out the city, we will have to make sure that we're always adding cemeteries or crematoriums to deal with the death care. But we are stable here today, and now we can continue building out Bytown. So we're going to leave you here with a brief outro. I would like to thank you for watching today's episode, and until next time, bye for now.